Let me take you to the question of how the Navy is going to fare relative to the other services. You look at all the services and pay attention. You gave us a little bit of a thumbnail sketch. We can acknowledge that Nick Carter, Sir Nick Carter, Chief of the British Army, does have somewhat the bigger challenge. Talk to us about some of the other themes we're going to see here from the other services. Obviously, the shipbuilding strategy is number one, and the carrier is number one. Talk to us about what we're going to see on the air side of things and on the British Army side.
Well, just starting, you mentioned shipbuilding strategy. At least the Royal Navy has a government document committing itself to we support a certain path. There is no such air strategy, no such land strategy, which automatically puts the RAF and the Army in a much weaker position. Coming back to the point that all services are trading manpower and operations for equipment, one of the issues coming up in potential savings round for this year and next year is the Army are going to offer up more troops. Could be 5,000, could be 7,000. Whether it's of relevance, one of the Guards battalions is likely to be cut, which is sort of big historic news. You then get into the spiral where very quickly a civil servant in the administration is going to say, why are you buying all this equipment when your army is getting smaller? You sized that purchase of, say, Ajax scout vehicles in production at the moment on an army of 85,000. You're now 70,000. So why are you buying all that? If you have cut another armoured regiment, do you actually need tanks at all? There is a very big danger the British Army may go out of main battle tanks, simply because they will cut those to save other bits of the budget. The RAF, I think it's actually relatively simple. The chances of the RAF ending up with 90 Joint Strike Fighter are zero. The exchange rate has killed that. You would need to see the pound bounce back up to the halcyon days of $2.50 to the pound to rescue the RAF's black hole. And I don't know anyone who reckons that the pound is going to bounce back up there. There is a serious possibility, though the RAF will deny this completely, that the UK will cap its JSF procurement at, should you say 60 or 70? The lead service will be the Royal Navy, simply because the only need for those aircraft is manning the carriers. And then what you do is you say to the Royal Air Force, we'll buy you Tranche 3B Typhoon, the full thing. And by the way, those will make incredibly good electronic attack aircraft, much better radar than JSF, bigger radar than JSF. You could introduce a whole new range of capabilities. Now, what I've said, we'll get an RAF person in apoplexy, but the problem is there is logic in this type of split of fleets. It's been happening on the helicopters. The RAF operates the Chinooks, the Royal Navy, Royal Marines operate the Merlins, which used to be operated by the RAF. It makes a lot of sense. The 138 JSF is a figure that belongs to a decade ago. And two things have happened. One, the UK budget is not balanced. Two, the Forex area, foreign exchange, has gone to pot. And three, the funding of the budget is just not realistic.